you get advantage, you feel very comfortable. So the rest of the races of the year, how do you feel in the future on those tracks? Definitely Florida is advantage for you. Do you have some type of thinkings about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think all of them, suit me well. There's certain places that are better than others. I think, yeah, Daytona has always been good to me. I've been on the podium every time I raced, and I've been close twice now. So, yeah, it's nice. Just I think sleeping in our own bed. I drove up and just a good weekend. But yeah, moving forward, I think I really like Indy, Detroit, the Seattle rounds, Salt Lake. So. Yeah, obviously a lot of good rounds coming up, and but yeah, I guess it's nice just to race where I live now in Florida.
We'll get a microphone for you real quick. Pass it over. Unless there's another. We got one coming in, and we'll give one to Dan Beaver, maybe.
This is Melissa Thomas with Florida National News. This question is for all of you up there. But kind of talk about, obviously, the plot thickens when it rains, obviously, when you're dealing with a course like that. But is there any switch in your strategy once that happens, particularly here in Daytona? Because Ricky Carmichael's courses are always insane here. So kind of talk about your experience with that.
For me, I went to roll-offs just to not chance anything. Because obviously it's hard to see what's going on with the rain. So that's the main thing I think about is what you're going to do with your vision once it starts raining. And then I guess luckily for us, it didn't do much during the actual race.
Yeah, same. I think it's tough. This track in general is already a little hard to see with the black dirt and being at night. So I was turning a lot of tear-offs at first, kind of, counting them in my head how many I had. And but then, like I said, it stopped raining. But Eli, I saw, did the roll-off, and I was like, man, questioning it at first, but then luckily it stopped.
Yeah, just you were wondering if you're going to run tear-offs or roll-offs, and I stuck with the tear-offs, and like Cooper said, I'm really, because you can pull 7 at a time if you aren't careful, so I was trying to pick one off at a time and not waste any. And for there, I think it started raining a little bit during our race, but we got lucky, so thankfully the rain held off for the most part.
Dan?
For Eli, you said that you got better as the night went along. At what point did you know that you had the win? And during the race, did you ever give yourself the opportunity to think about what the history of that meant?
Well, I mean, with both these guys up here, I don't count the win until I cross the finish line. I got pretty sketchy on the side of the tunnel with maybe 5 laps to go or somewhere in there. So, I mean, I was in the lead at that point, but almost made a mistake. So that's it, man. It's just like you got to cross that finish line before you start counting any wins.
And for all three of you, I think this is the 3rd race in a row that you've sat on the podium together, the 4th time overall. What does that mean to each of you guys to have this tight a competition at this point?
I think it's cool to have these two next to me. Obviously, all of us want to be where Eli is, and that's our goal during the weeks. So yeah, it's good to be on the podium, but we all want to win.
Yeah, I mean, I surely wish it wasn't us three. I wish it was just a solo, but no, it's good competition for sure, and we each have our strengths, and I think we're elevating, Supercross at the moment. So I'm sure we'll all look back in 10 years and relish it, but right now it's every man for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, you can see, I think right now us three are separating ourselves, to a certain degree. So I guess we'll probably expect to see the skin.
Grace from Speed Sport.
Thank you. Grace Holding Speed Sport. This one is for Eli. Eli, can you just take me through the pass that you made on Cooper for the lead? Obviously, you guys were going down the front stretch. It was kind of right in front of the crowd, so the crowd was super loud. So can you just take me through that pass in that moment?
Yeah, but it was right after the finish line there, and it was just a thing where I believe he hit false neutral. So and then I was able just to slide on by and do the normal triple line. So there wasn't a whole lot of thought to it. I just happened to be just to the right side of him, so I was able just to slide right by.
And then quick follow-up for you as well. It seemed like there was a pretty epic crowd, at the podium there. So kind of how fun was it to see all those people and just celebrate your accomplishment with a crowd like that?
It's neat, when the fans can get right up against the podium there with us, because the other Supercrosses, that doesn't happen. So, you just they're just right there, so you get to engage with the fans. It's pretty cool.
Well, congrats and thank you.
Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie Vitalex again. Chase, Eli's mentioned picking the jump line through the whoops a couple times. You started off in the skimming and then went to jumping. Skimming definitely looked faster. Was it for the same reason, to conserve energy?
Yeah, that, and you just really were hung out to dry going outside, and I had Justin behind me, so I definitely didn't want to leave myself open multiple times in a row. And the jump line, I messed it up for like the first 3 times I did it, and then I picked a rut outside of what the main one was, and I started getting it good. And I think it was a little slower, but it was consistent, and you could replicate it every lap and not have to really not think, but it was just more consistent, and definitely saved a little bit of energy, and you could use that for the rest of the track.
And Eli, you talked about earlier in the day having a bit of a struggle, and I've seen the Twitter rumors. Oh, there's an injury he's hiding, etc. But what about settings? You're pretty finicky with settings. This track is a little different than a normal Supercross track. Was that something you were struggling with? Did you change a lot?
I did a little fork setting change between the first and second time qualifier, but that was it. It wasn't really anything major, and I don't know. I just was slow in a couple of spots on the track, and then I never put one really fast lap together.
All right. Kevin Kelly.
Yeah, Kevin Kelly, DMXS. I was curious, you guys are going to race a few more of these speedway type events later on. Does this kind of help you in terms of getting ready for those events, in terms of settings? That's for all 3 of you guys, because I'm really interested in how deep into a day you will chase settings before you go, all right, I'm stuck with this, I'm going to just run it.
I think this one's nothing like Atlanta, but they are different for sure. I think you gotta have to make a few adjustments. I think the biggest difference is our speeds are a lot higher. That's what at least I noticed today. Like, we're hitting all the obstacles at a much higher speed, especially these back straightaways. So it's hard. I mean, we actually didn't change anything really from normal. So for me, it was another day. But I definitely think you got to make some adjustments, especially for maybe Atlanta.
Yeah, it's the speedway tracks. This one is different than Atlanta. Atlanta's more just normal clay dirt. But I think they're cool because it just you have to be very precise, but you can also gain a lot of speed and push through the rhythms if you're comfortable. So I feel like there's a lot of dirt. Everything feels bigger. And I think especially Atlanta, they just have more dirt and the track is way busier. So I like them, higher speeds. Here is just a different animal. When in the heat race we were second heat, and when the lights turn on, I feel like it's kind of hard to see here a little bit, and then you finally adjust for the main event, and Atlanta's not as hard. But I like the speedways and looking forward to more of them.
Yeah, it's good just to have something a little bit out of the ordinary for us. So I feel like the speedways they're a good change up, for us.
Cool. Any more out here? We good? Last chance. Going once, going twice. One more. Let's hear it. Dan? Do you need a microphone? Yeah, we'll get you one, bud.
Do you think that you guys learned anything at Daytona that will carry over into the 3 tracks on the SMX, or is it too soon to know?
I mean, the unique thing about here is just the dark sand. So, I mean, yes, our mile per hour is up here, which will be like the other speedways, but it's hard to replicate the soil. So I guess you don't know what you're going to get, at those other events outside of Atlanta.
Dan, was that for everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. Coop?
Are they going to be Supercross or motocross? We can ask Mr. Feld, where's he at?
Bit of a mystery right now.
Yeah, we don't really know what the track's really going to be like, so it's kind of a mystery at this point.
Makes it exciting. Jason?
Yeah, Eli, every week you're breaking some sort of record or breaking your own record, whatever it is, and we want to ask you about it, but can you not even really wrap your head around that because it's so intense in the moment right now, where you can't really think about the large picture of your career?
It's a cool spot to be in, and yeah, man. I don't got much to say. It's pretty crazy to think to be at 49, but yeah, I don't got anything else to say.
It is. All right, I think that's it. Again, last chance. Anyone else? All right, excellent job, Eli Tomac, Cooper Webb, and Chase Sexton. Well done, gentlemen. We can get our 250 podium to make their way up. Thank you.
You know what? We can swap out.
Do I get free goggles, or how does this work?
I don't know, those chases.
Hey, Chase. Chase, are these yours or Eli's? New seats without the perspiration-free seats. Good call, man. Thank you. Good job, bud.
Yeah, I've done us a favour there. Congratulations, guys.
Ready to start now for the 250 class here for round 8 in Daytona for the 2023 season of Monster Energy AMA Supercross Championship and the 31 round season of the Super Motocross World Championship as well. We have Hunter Lawrence in first place, Max Anstey in second, Hayden Deegan in third. Excellent job to all three of you. A tough track, a brutal night. Well done. Hunter Lawrence, you are now half of a brother duo who have won Daytona. I believe no brothers have ever done that before. And much like other records that are being set, are you proud of this?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know no other brothers win. It's not something I think
that's
of.
true. Dan Beaver could help me out with that.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, it's cool. It's cool, obviously, you know. I mean, it's not really anything that we talk about with any venom in our words, but, you know, you always rub it in whenever we're joking lightly or something, you know, like if someone, you know, with Jed it was Triple Crowns, but this year I missed out on a Triple Crown, so now I was like, hey, maybe Triple Crowns aren't our thing, but...
symbiosis between you two right now.
But it's just
and both in first, by the way.
Yeah. No, but it's cool. It's fun.
Excellent. And Hayden, I want to ask you real quick, first podium for you. It's a historic moment. Proud mother and father out here. They are beaming. They're very excited. A pretty big deal for your rookie season. I think this is your fourth race, and you've got a podium. That's incredible. How does that feel, bud?
Yeah, it's definitely super exciting. It was one of my goals, so we ticked off another one, and yeah, I got a taste of it, and I definitely want more.
All right, excellent. And we'll go out to the media. Max will have plenty of time to talk. I know you're going to take it too, bud. And we're looking forward to it. Let's go. We appreciate it. Trust me. We love it.
Max has great answers.
Yes, he does.
Jamie, Vital MX. Hunter, I want to start with you. Early pass on Nate Thrasher from where I was standing. Couldn't see if there was contact. A little aggressive early or no?
Yeah, it depends how you look at it. You know, I was coming out. He went outside. I was inside. I'm getting roosted pretty bad, like the sand section roost is gnarly, and then just kind of dove to the inside. So, yeah, I didn't feel contact. Obviously, it's not, like, the ideal scenario, but you just kind of see a shot. You're making split decisions, you know, like, on the spot. So, you know, sometimes you're going to make wrong decisions, sometimes you don't, you know, and it was just I went to the inside, getting roosted. That was the option that presented itself, and, yeah, just kind of didn't look back. I kind of feel like, you know, look back at last week, whenever I'm in front, there's, you know, it's going to be a hard racing. So that's just what kind of comes with having the red plate. When you look back at previous, you know, years with guys that have had the same thing, it's part of it. So, yeah, it is what it is. But, yeah, obviously sucks that he went down. Not what I wanted to happen.
Hayden, you mentioned that this was a goal, but after A2, before you decided to go pro, you kind of said you don't really know what to expect. You're just trying to learn. So I don't think it was a goal or even an expectation at that point. How do you feel about this trajectory of yours? Because it's happening fast.
Yeah, definitely happening fast. After Futures, I wasn't even sure if I was going to race. So we pulled it, and we're like, yeah, we might as well go race. So go get the experience. And so far, it's been going great. And, yeah, just keep on learning.
Jason from RacerX. Hayden, because your dad raced Supercross, I think a lot of people will think that he was pushing you into it. But explain the breakdown of how badly you wanted to do this as a career and how your mom and dad actually felt about it.
Yeah, my mom didn't want me to race dirt bikes after all my dad went through. So we started, and my dad got me on a dirt bike. It was going to happen eventually, and from there I just fell in love with it. Would always watch the guys outside do freestyle and stuff, so fell in love with dirt bikes, and from there just been grinding to get up to this spot pretty much and race Supercross. I've been wanting it for I couldn't say whole life because I'm only 17, but that little span. So and now we're here, so we're just gonna keep getting better, hopefully.
Yeah, so you would say this much more comes from you internally wanting to do this than people wanting you to do it.
Yeah, it's a all me thing, you know. A lot of people, I mean, there's people like that obviously want me to do it. My dad wants me to do it, of course. That's just, we're a racing family, so we want to keep that in the genes. And, but yeah, I want it bad.
Dan Beaver, NBC Sports for Hayden. Can you even describe what emotion is like to get your first podium in this race, especially after hearing your name called so many times before the race as one of the favorites of the fans?
Yeah, this track is not an easy one. You got to be a man to ride this track. So I didn't get the greatest start, but I was able to make my way up to third, and it's a tough track. You know, I was riding with good intensity. I felt great, and I was able to push through. And at the end, the crowd's amazing. It's crazy. The crowd's going wild the whole time. So when I finished that race, adrenaline was going. I was super happy.
Deegan, you almost neared the record of being the youngest Supercross rider at 17 to be in the podium. Ron Liching, 1983, did it. So do you ever thought in your mind that you, after 4 races, you will be in the podium? Ever you think about that?
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. This early, I didn't think it, honestly. I didn't think I'd be getting on the podium this early, but it's racing, and we continue to progress. So we ended up getting on the podium. So now we're here, and yeah, it's super exciting.
Jamie, Vital Mexican. Max, you and I talked for a moment before you got up there, and you mentioned these results are a little better than what you probably thought you were going to get, and you said now you need just a little bit more. Well, what is that little bit more? What is it going to take? What do you got to find?
Well, that's a tough one. But I mean, yeah, the expectations coming in, we didn't really know, and that quickly changed. You know, banging out a couple of podiums. But I'm still learning a lot. You know, last week in Arlington, man, I was thrown off guard with a few things, and by the end of the night, I found a good setup, and I was like, man, if I could redo this day tomorrow, I'd be much better off. And it was the same today. I'm glad I got pressed yesterday, because every time out on the track, I was changing stuff, and by all means, the team are doing an amazing job, because they're trying to make my bike faster so that I can compete against these two boys' bike, and they're all trying to work. I've got Mike Hayes, Factory Connection. Man, he's a magician with the bike. We've been, you know, everyone's telling me, oh, don't change the bike, you're getting on the podium, and I'm like, yeah, but they think they can make it better. We want to try and improve and you know, try and close that gap up to Hunter up front. And again, if I could redo the day tomorrow, I would start with what I finished in the main and be much better off, because every session out there I was, searching for things, but I don't get paid for the heat races, I don't get paid for practice, I get paid for main events, so happy to be on the box.
Hunter, with this somewhat hybrid style Supercross track, big changes to the bike to make it better today. What'd you change?
We went one click stiffer on the shock, which I thought would be a rebound call just because of the high-speed rhythm lanes. You know, you're hitting them at a lot faster, but no, honestly not. I feel like the past few years, you know, just from leaning on the team's experience, they go, oh, you know, we do come to Florida, we do the whole Daytona test, and then we come to the race and we end up racing on our normal stuff. So it's cool when you can just trust in your setup, and you're not like trying to reinvent the wheel because it feels like bad or whatever. So no, the bike was great. We didn't really change anything. Just some mapping stuff throughout the day for the humidity, but all good.
Hi guys, Mark Bridges, Supercross Stats. 600 250 class race. Congratulations, guys, for being on the podium for that. Hayden, halfway to your dad's podium total. Are you going to give him some heck next week when you break it?
Oh, shoot. Yeah, my dad's definitely, he's got that over me. He's got the win and the ghost ride. So these guys are some fast dudes in front of me, and I'm not to their pace yet. So we got to keep working, and hopefully my dad's still beating me with that goal. So we're just going to, keep pinning work, and maybe we'll get up to their speed. Who knows? But they're going fast right now. So if I can do that, though, I'll be super excited.
Hunter, there's only 4 guys now with more wins on a Honda in the 250 class than you. Does that feel pretty good to be one of the top all-time riders on that red machine? And what does that mean to your to HRC?
Hopefully pretty good. I mean, I didn't know that stat you just fired off. I didn't know Brian had 2 podiums either. So I think he's going to have your record here pretty soon. Sorry to say, but no, I mean, dude, I don't know. I could care less. Like, I just want to be the best version of me when I ride, and pardon me. And yeah, do well for the team. Obviously, they're stoked and happy. Jet's doing well on the other coast, so it's a cool time right now.
Max Anstey, you feel you see I see you feel so comfortable with 250. Do you think in the future, what do you think about going again to 450 or doing like a combination 250 Supercross and 450 motocross? What do you think about that?
I'm Supercross only. Don't know if I should say this, but I went 5.5 at Southwick last year and got $1,500. and man, that was a hard race. I'm much better off racing Supercross. I'm racing World Supercross, Australian Supercross, and US Supercross, and I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'm milking this 250 class as long as I can, and then I'll go 450 when I get kicked out. That's about it. Yeah, I like it. I like getting on the podium. I like them bonus checks. So that's where I'm at.
Hayden, I've noticed you got a lot of fast teammates on your team. Plus, you've got Martin on another Yamaha, and it seems like you've been rubbing elbows with those guys quite a bit, coming out on top more often than not. How's that feel so far?
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of hard, too, because some of my teammates will come from my neck, too, which you kind of got to realize it's racing. So Martin, in that last one, he did run into me a little bit, but I held my ground. I kind of leaned into the turn, so it wasn't a big deal. It's racing. But, yeah, overall, it's just my teammates are good. They're fast riders. I think they got to learn to put it together a little more, which, I mean, as I see that, and that's stuff I got to learn from. So, yeah, but we got some fast guys on the team, and I think they can put it together. They're up there.
Okay, is that it? No one else out there? Anything? One more? Final one? We're good? Jason's all right? Lucas, you're good? No questions? Okay, just checking. All right, just making sure. All right, hey, give it up. Podium. First place, Hunter Lawrence, Max Anstey, Hayden Deegan. First podium of his career. Congratulations, gentlemen.
India, right?
Yeah.